Hey everybody, Jim Malone here. It is Dallas Trading Floor. It is a Tuesday. It is a Tuesday, 2000. Oh, wait a minute. Goodness. That doesn't work. There we go. Go live again on TikTok, hopefully. There we go. Trying to get all these things technically in order and trying to get it all happening here. But anyways, it's a Tuesday. Market is kind of waiting for a stimulus. It seems to be kind of in a holding pattern. You know, everything's before the election. We just don't know kind of what's happening. And it's interesting. So, further ado, let's get into the slides. Basically, the NASDAQ is still in a upward it is an upward direction. I mean, we are in a confirmed uptrend. The S&P was up this morning, 1%. Dow Jones up, NASDAQ up. Volume's down a little bit, but we seem to be pulling back after quite a few losing days. So it's just really hard to tell. We're kind of going sideways in the market right now, going into the election. So just can't quite figure it out. This is the Spider, the S&P 500 ETF. It's the largest ETF in the world. It's up a nice. This morning. It was up $3.21 at 345.22. It seems to be holding. To the 50-day moving average. That's about 320. So, we've pulled up from there. We kind of bounced a little bit. I don't know if you can see this on the chart. It's kind of small. I'm going to try to see if I can, blow it up a little bit, but it is bounced off of the 50-day. So that's kind of good. It seems like it's settling there. Hopefully we won't retest again. Going lower. So hopefully this is a bounce off the line. That's what it looks like to me anyways. So that is good. Hopefully coming into the to the election. Also on the QQQ, same story, different, same thing. We're up 285. The critical level now, I believe, is 275. So we seem to be keeping off the 50-day moving average, which is good. The relative strength on this is 82, which is interesting. So that means that the top 100 stocks in the QQQ are stronger than 82%. They're basically in the top 18%. So this is one of the reasons why I pick most of my stocks out of the NASDAQ 100. Those are the stocks that typically are growing faster than the rest of the market. And you can see this by this relative strength indicator with an 82. So if you were to just buy the NASDAQ, if you're just to buy the QQQ, you would be in the top 18% of the market. So that is very, very bullish as well. So that is a good thing that's going on. But we still seem to be going kind of sideways. It's strange. Now, I did put a stock in the small portfolio today. It had an excellent chart pattern. It's not actually, you can't totally see this on this, but it is a cup with handle chart pattern. And this is Lumber Liquidators. So a very small position, went in with one full position, but quite small. This is a relatively inexpensive stock at $27. Its volume has been moving down. It's a relatively small volume stock. This is kind of where the market has been moving in the last few days, to the smaller stocks in the S&P and in the NASDAQ. And this is definitely one of them, but it has a very strong composite rating of 96. It's quite strong. And that is one of the reasons I chose it. Now, will it pan out? Well, only time will tell. Basically, what I'm trying to do is find the highest relative strength stocks and basically looking for the best opportunities in those. So I'm going to, just for full disclosure, I'm going to show you a list of very high relative strength stocks. The highest relative strength stock currently on the list, believe it or not, even with the pullbacks, is Tesla. That's one of the reasons I'm in it. Vaxart is in there. Of course, Zoom, everybody knows about this. Now, believe it or not, even Fastly, after its pullback, is in there. It kind of Fastly got a little bit ahead of itself. We may have another opportunity on Fastly. I know I know that may not thrill a lot of people, but it seems to be holding its relative strength. So it looks like there was a short, there was a blow off top and then a pullback, but it seems to be holding 84, which is interesting. Square is in there, of course. We all know that. That's a great stock. Overstock.com, Novamax, Jinko Solar, and then Solar Turbine. That's another one that I have in the small portfolio. Again, it has a 99 relative strength. Now, what does that 99 mean? Well, the 99 means that it is outproducing all but one. It's in the top 1% of all stocks relative to the market. So that's one of the reasons I like these stocks that have this very, very high relative strength. Nautilus is also in there. I don't have a position in Nautilus, but this is probably going to go on the watch list because it's looking very strong. Obviously, this is a sympathy trade to Peloton, which has done very well. But you notice Peloton isn't there, but Nautilus is. So Nautilus seems to be pulling some very strong numbers right now. Twilio, of course, Livongo Health, CarParts.com, and Fiverr. And then, of course, down here at 21, that's where Lumber Liquid is. Well, that's a lower price one. And then, of course, one that I have traded before and it's been on the watch list, Retractable Technologies. And that's actually based right here in Little Elm, Texas, which is basically a suburb of Dallas. So very interesting stocks there. Hopefully, I'll try to post some of this and get this out to the people that are on the action trade alerts, just so you can give you these high relative strength stocks out there. So let's go to. Well, that's where I am, but obviously my sizing didn't quite work there. Terrible to say that, but it is true. So let's go to some questions. All right. So basically, what do you take on CloudMD, Doc? Well, I had been trading Teladoc, but let's look at Cloud. Let's look at Cloud MD. That's symbol DOC. So let's see. That's a good area, but but there's going to. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think that's. What are your thoughts on Cloud MD, Doc? I don't think that is Doc. Let me just show you the chart that I have. I think that's a Physicians Realty Trust. Maybe I think you're possibly talking about Teladoc. So let me put in TDoc in there to see if that makes more sense. All right, there we go. Teladoc Health. Let's look at that one. And you were talking about at 280. Okay, I don't think maybe we're confused here. This is Teladoc. It basically is below. So I'm not sure that I know what you're talking about with this one. Sorry about that. Frosty Spikes, apologize, but I don't see it. Tesla has been sulking. Well, yes, it has, and I am a Tesla bullish, as you know, and we're basically in a situation where it seems to have pulled back to the 200-day moving average. So let me kind of show you the chart as it stands. Now we're only one day in front of earnings. Earnings are going to be tomorrow on Wednesday. It does seem to be holding right to the 50-day line. It seems like let's look at the daily chart to see how it's trading. It just pulled slightly below the 21-day exponential, but it's still above the 40 days. So it looks as if it's moving right along on that 21-day exponential moving average. Let's see if we can get a 10-minute chart on that to kind of see how it's trading. Well, it seems to be pulling back into the close. It's way down in 420. So, that is interesting. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a better look here. This is the 30-minute chart. It seems as if, it seems as if it is sort of hovering right about that 420, 425 range. It seems to be. We've had some selling here, right? And this is understandable. This is selling into earnings. So we've definitely had some selling there. So, I'm going to be holding through earnings. I'm a little bit longer term. I'm a little bit longer term with Tesla. So I'm going to be turning in there. Now, it is true. I have hedged my position. I did it in an unusual way because I typically buy in lots of hundreds with Tesla, but I did sell some call options. And of course, they have been going up as Tesla has been going down. So that's another way you could hedge without just using a straight stop loss sometimes. So it's been kind of strange. Let's take a look at the people on on TikTok. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Hopefully this is going to work better this time. So I'm going to see, okay. Yeah, all the stimulus. Yeah, exactly. Thoughts on Amazon. Okay, well, let's take a look at Amazon. That's a good question. Um, Amazon has been pulling back as of late, so not really sure exactly where it is. So let's look at the chart to kind of see if we can get a good look at the weekly chart for Amazon. So this is the chart for Amazon, and it seems to be holding the 50-day moving average, and it does have a cup pattern, so that is strong. There has been a fair amount of selling, though, in the last week or so. So let's look at the daily chart to see if it's worth holding. Yeah, it's pulling. Yeah, it's got a cup with handle formation, which is the best. It looks like, I think it may be getting ready to move higher. Now, I wouldn't do anything on this because it's only 8 days until earnings. So it does have a cup with handle formation, which is very strong. This could move a lot higher. It's up $20 today, so at 32.28. So there is a buy point on this 35.52. So the question is, when is that going to come? I think we're going to probably see. After earnings, I think this probably is going to go up, but it's really hard to judge that on Amazon. But that's the chart on Amazon, so kind of gives you an idea. I don't really see a great place to buy it right now, but maybe coming up. Hi, Jim. Your thoughts on Snap? Well, I like Snap because that's definitely on the list, and this is it's finally getting some good love here. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Let's take a look at the chart for Snap and Mr. Sid. So hopefully we can see that. Gives us a good look at it. Seems like it's pulled back to the buy zone. That's very, very good. The question is, you can't really buy it on this 28.55. This is looking very, very good, Mr. Sid. Basically, earnings are due basically today, so let's see what happens. Checklist is okay. It's 3 and 5. Okay, ownership. I think if you have this right now, I think I would sell it into the earnings, and then I would wait for tomorrow. But there is a buying opportunity. It looks like it's pulling back to the buy point at 28.76. So let me put that out there. Snap buy point equals 26.76. But here's the thing about that. I wouldn't recommend buying it at this point because we are right before earnings. So I don't like to buy right before earnings. I want to see how it handles it through earnings. It's probably going to drop a little bit, and then I think it probably will pick up. That's typically the way it works. So there is high expectations, and this is what I always worry about. So don't buy it into earnings. Wait until after it moves through earnings, and I think that you might have a winner here because it's definitely setting up very, very nicely. So okay. Did you get stopped out of Tesla? No, I did not get stopped out of Tesla. Thanks for the question. I did not get stopped out of Tesla because my acquisition cost was much lower than most people. Because when I bought Tesla at 424, I also sold call options, one for 500 and the other for 450. So my actual cost of acquisition was lower than that. So my actual stop losses are basically in the 385, 390 range. So that's why I did not get stopped out. But that's a very good question. I appreciate that. Jim, thoughts on TSF? I was stopped. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry about that. Okay, yeah, this is a tough market to trade because, you're just going to get stopped out of so many things in this market. It's a hard market to trade because it is kind of moving sideways. How is Taiwan Semi doing? Well, I'm still in Taiwan Semi, and it's been working for me. So It definitely is pushed up to, it's right out of the buy zone, but it's still very strong with a 92 relative strength. So I really like Taiwan Semi. We definitely have increasing fund ownership. We have a 100% checklist, and the ownership is good, and we're in a great sector. So, here's the thing. The problem with Taiwan Semi, you might have to be a little bit patient. I've been in this one for a while, but it seems to be working. So I'll push on over to the small portfolio. This is kind of where I'm at in terms of Taiwan Semi. My acquisition cost for Taiwan Semi was basically 86 instead of 88. So that hasn't moved up a whole lot, but it's definitely starting to make its move. And I do think towards the end of the year, I think Taiwan Semi should do well. TSM should do well. But again, it's pulled back. Apps has definitely pulled back. I may have been stopped out of apps, so I have to check that. I may have been stopped out of that one again. I pushed into lumber liquidators. That's down too. So not doing what I'd like to see right now. That's for sure. That's definitely for sure. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so BABA and Fedex. Well, let's look at BABA first. BABA is basically a proxy for the entire Chinese market. And it's been pretty good as of late. So let's take a look at BABA here on the charts and see what we've got on BABA. Not really a place to buy it. It's got a relative strength of 89, which is excellent. Let's look at the criteria. It's got an excellent checklist. It's basically failing on only one issue, and that's earnings per share. The ownership is definitely moving up. It's the Fidelity Contra Fund is in there. So this is looking good. This is definitely looking good. Now, the question is, where would you buy this? It seems like the only place really to buy this is at the 10-day exponential, which is about 302. I'm not sure that that's really where you're going to have to buy it, is at the 10-day moving average, and that's about 302. So that's about the only buy point on it. It's not a great buy point, by the way. It's kind of a secondary buy point. So let's look at FedEx, FDX, FedEx. And in there we go. FedEx, there we go. Federal Express. Federal Express should do well. This is typically their best quarter of the year, which is Christmas time. Their earnings per shares have been up. We've got nice volume. It just seems to be moving very, very nicely right up the 10-day moving average. So I can't really say anything bad about Federal Express. Let's look at the criteria. It's got a decent checklist, 7 out of 9. Its ownership is very strong in the funds, and it's increasing. Industry and sector, that's probably it's at 10. So, boy, I tell you, this is looking very, very strong for Federal Express. Let's see if. Yeah, this is just a super great chart. This is definitely worth. This is definitely going higher. There's no question about it. It's up $3 today, so very, very good. Out of the two, out of BABA and Federal Express, I think you got to go with Federal Express. I think it's a better bet. But they're both excellent. Thank you very much for that question. Let's see if I can get a question from TikTok. Let's see. Nothing stimulus. Yeah, nothing stimulus sales. Yeah, exactly. We're definitely pretty dependent on that. JD looking strong. Okay, let's look at JD. JD is another one of the very strong Chinese-based stocks, and it's JD.com, of course. It's looking very, very strong right now. The Chinese market has been outperforming the U.S. market as of late, so there you go. There's definitely a buy point on it with a cup, 86.58, and it's got a blue dot, so 95. So actually, out of all these, out of Federal Express, BABA, and JD, it looks like JD, at least for right now, is the strongest. It's got a 100% checklist and increasing fund ownership. So wow, this is just looking very, very, very good. So let's put down JD on a watch list. JD.com. This is going to be watch listed on the small portfolio. Very, very, very strong. I think that this is not a bad entry point for JD.com right here. So that's a very good question from TikTok. Let's see about taking another question from YouTube. How is space doing? What should I ever trade? We'll wait until the stimulus. Space is a tough one to trade because it's very much of a story stock, but I have traded it successfully. So let's look at space and see if there's anything we can do to make money with it. SPCE. And that's the key here, is to make money. Yeah, you know what? It does have a buy point. Wow, look at that. Interesting. Okay, so here we go. This is the chart for space. I'm looking at the weekly chart. Let's see, there's a cup formation. That's very good. We've got earnings, though, in 16 days. Now, here's a way you can trade this one that might be kind of fun. I think you could probably make some money on it, is buying it now and then selling it in 15 days. I think that's the way to go. I wouldn't hold this one through earnings. It's just too risky. The checklist is pretty weak, too. It's 5 out of 9. But there seems to be increasing fund ownership, and this is really the only pure play in the space game. So it's pretty interesting. This is down over year. This is not the best group, the aerospace group. But if you're going to play this one might not be bad. I think that really, the buy point on this is 27.55. It's right now at 23.10. It would be a tough buy, but you could buy this into earnings. I wouldn't hold this through earnings, though. I'd be very, very careful about this. The earnings are due on November 5th. So if you were to buy this, you would buy it now, hold it until November 4th, and then sell it. I'm going to see if there's any options potentially on that. So I'm going to put options play on SPCE. So I'm going to see if I can put out an options trade alert on that. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, super easy to get on the action trade alerts. All you have to do is go to my profile, hit the link, and you'll be taken directly to the sign up page. If you're looking on YouTube and you want to see kind of how to get on the action trade alerts, it's super easy. All you do is you just go over here. This is what the website looks like. It says subscribe to a free trade alerts, just first and last name, and then hit that subscribe button, and you'll be right on the list. And we do send them out based on plays that I am considering making, options as well as others. So I may have a bull call spread on space. So I'll put together, see what I can do, see what I can find for a bull call spread on that. So hopefully that'll be coming out here pretty quick. All right, thoughts on Amazon or Shopify? Well, Amazon seems to be getting into a very nice buying range once again. So, but let's look at Shop. Shop has been pulling back as of late. So let's see if there's anywhere that we can buy Shop. Yeah, okay. Well, it's got a nice pattern. So let's look at the pattern for Shopify. 96 relative strength. I love that. It's got a cup formation. That is good. Where can you buy this? Well, it looks like you can probably get this off of the 21-day exponential. So let's see. Yeah, right on the 21-day. So I do think that it is buyable right at this point, believe it or not. Wow, that's incredible, because we do have a cup with handle. The pivot on this is 1130. So let me put that out there. The Shopify SHOP buy pivot is equal to 11. Let me see about that. It is equal to 1130. So we're still a little bit under that right now. But that's the pivot on Shopify. It's currently trading for $10.53.64. It's off $15 today. The question is, can you buy it? Well, I do think, it is buyable, but here's the problem. It's coming into earnings in 9 days. So this is a little bit risky. Earnings is in 9 days. I don't think I would buy Shopify at this point. I'd wait till we go through earnings. Now let's look at Amazon. AMZN. See if there's anything we can do there. Yeah, it's pulled back. It's also got a cup with, isn't that interesting? It's also got a cup with handle. It's not quite as strong as Shopify with 88 relative strength. It looks like it's right at the 50-day line. So it looks like they're all coming together there. So let's look at the weekly chart to see if there's anywhere we can buy this. It looks as if, yeah, there is a cup with handle, 34.95, 34.96 is Amazon. And that's the cup with handle, AMZN, cup with handle. That is, what is that? 34.96 is 34.96. So that gives you the pivot on Amazon. So out of the two, I would have to go with Shopify. It just seems to be handling a little bit better. They're both expensive stocks, but don't let that deter you, because you could buy 1 or 2 or 3 shares. So that's not a bad idea when it comes to doing something like that. So that is my opinion. Out of the two, I'd probably pick Shopify right at this moment, but it's very close. Let's see. Thoughts on the overall market direction. Well, right now we're in a sort of a very much of a kind of a sideways motion. I think they're going to be in that until we get through the election. I mean, I think it's going to be very choppy until we get to some resolve on the election. I also think that the stimulus package is going to have a huge thing here. So we got to be real careful. I think the overall market right now, it's not really showing a lot of direction, and it seems to be moving sideways. So that's sort of my take on it. Suggestions on JD or Chewy. Let's look at Chewy. We just talked about JD. So let's look at Chewy, CHWY. Let's see if there's anything there on Chewy. Chewy's a relatively recent IPO, and you definitely can do well on IPOs. That's for sure. But we do have a buy point on it. Wow, we do have a buy point on this one. So yeah, Chewy is very, very viable right now at 68.18. It looks like. Wow, that's interesting. Very interesting. It's got a strong checklist. It only fails on one. Ownership is good. And let's see if there's any options action on it. Nothing really on the options. Let's see if about the industry. Very, very strong. So this is viable right as we speak. Chewy, symbol CHWY. So this is viable right now. But remember, if you do buy this, please do the stop loss, because that is so important. That is so important. So let's look at TikTok here. Let's see if I can give you a lot of people signed on here. Any questions? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Documentum, DOCU. This is a question from TikTok from somebody 20 on TikTok. Documentum, DOCU. Let's take a look at Documentum. This is a good stay-at-home stock, of course, because all the signings and legal stuff has not stopped. Definitely is still at stay-at-home stock. So this is a great stay-at-home stock. Documentum, 228 is the price on this one. 97 relative strength. This is very strong. I have to say, I mean, I'm liking this one. The checklist is strong. The ownership is very good. It's 65% owned by funds. We do have, let's see if we have anything in good here. American Century is good in here. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good fund. So yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good. Now, is there really a buy point on this? Well, not really. You could buy it off the 50-day moving average, but it's actually not looking good. Not looking too bad. It's 21% off of its 52-week high, though. It did spike up when it went through the last earnings. So you could probably buy this into earnings. The earnings on this one is going to be, let's see, when is the earnings on this one? Yeah, it's December 5th is the earnings on Documentum. So quite good. I definitely give the green light to buy it. as well. But if you do buy it, be very careful. Put your stop losses in, and you know, and do it that way, because you got to protect your position. This is a strange market. We are moving sideways, not up, not down, kind of sideways. So it's very tough. Tesla, is it going to move up or down? Well, that's a good question. That's a $64,000 question. I think it's moving down into earnings right now. That's what we've been seeing. Let's see if we have. Let's look at the month. Let's look at the weekly chart first. Well, let's look at the monthly chart. This is the monthly chart for Tesla. So as you can see, it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. It's still off its high there a little bit, and it does have this is on the monthly chart. Now, if we were to go over to the weekly chart, which is the one we normally look at, we were basically right to the 21-day exponential. So that's good, and that seems to be moving. Well. So let's see if we can get a kind of consolidation there. And this is sort of the consolidation going into the end of the year on that we're doing one day. So I do think there is a new buy point at 502. I do think that once we come through earnings, depending on how good they are, I think we'll move right up to the 502 level, and I think that's going to happen within the next month. But right now it's pulling back a little bit, and it's currently trading at 521. It's pulled back. It's down $17 today. Let's look at the short interest. Fortunately, we have a very small short interest, which is good. I'm liking the fact that there's a very small short interest. So there might actually be a very good opportunity on the options on this. Let's take a look at some of those Tesla options to see if there's anything that we can look to see. It looks as if the November 20th 420 strike is it is trading. That is amazing. There is a good opportunity on that November 20th. That's a very, very, what the options are telling me is that going into November, I think we may see Tesla pull higher based on these options. We have the 420 option is selling for 51.35. So that's pretty good relative to where it is currently. So that's kind of my take on Tesla. Don't really have any real news, anything more on that. ZNTL. Let's take a look at ZNTL really quick. ZNTL is the symbol for Xanatus. I think it's correct. Pharma. It just came out. So it's a new offer. It's a new IPO. And let's kind of see how it's trading. Basically only been out about 2 months. I typically like to see 3 months. It typically it moved up, out, and then it pulled back, and so it's moving back up. It's got a relative strength of 91. That's very good. Excuse me. Developed small molecule therapeutics. Wow, this is very interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at the checklist, buying checklist. It's not great. It's 5 out of 9. So I can't really recommend that. And 71% in ownerships on funds. Is there any options? I don't think there is. No. On this one, I think this is a watch list because the relative strength was very good with 91. But I just want to see this thing firm up a little bit. So I can't really say I don't think this one's a buy right now. I don't think it's definitely not a buy right now. So, and that is symbol ZNTL. Nautilus Pharmaceuticals. So I wouldn't say that's a buy, but it's possibly a watch list, but it still needs to be stronger. Thoughts on Apple? Apple, is still one of the great companies out there. So I think we have to, give its due. But the problem is, I think it is priced to perfection. It's been pulling back today, $1.51 down to 117. It seems to be trading in a small range from about 113 on up to about 120 right now. Then it just seems to be following the 21-day line. At 91, I don't think that. It's 6 out of 9. It's a good stock, but I think it's been priced to perfection. So I can't really recommend it going in at this moment. I want to see a little bit more a little bit more power on this. We're basically very, very close to earnings. We're only 9 days away from earnings. So let's see how this string trades into earnings. And then I wouldn't buy it until after earnings. Apple might be a very good trade after earnings. But right now, I don't think you want to, I think it's a little bit too, it's just the market doesn't seem to be the right for it right now as well. Okay. So happy Tuesday to you too. Let's look at NIO. NIO, of course, is a Chinese-based automobile company, electric automobile company. It's pulled back a little bit, just slightly today, but it's been very, very good. JP Morgan did give NIO an upgrade, and it's got a 99. So this is probably going to be the first Chinese electric vehicle to be imported to Europe. So that is the good story about it. It's 8 out of 9 in terms of its relative strength, and the ownership is about 23% funds. So it's definitely going up. So I think, based on those factors alone, I think you might want to consider at least watch listing this one. It just seems to be moving right up the 21-day average. So it's pulled back a little bit to the 21-day, but I think if it reverses, this might be good. So I'm going to put NIO down, and I'm probably going to watch list that one on the small portfolio. I've owned it before on the small portfolio and did quite well on it. But I currently am not in NIO. Now let's look at FNKO to see if there's anything there. FNKO, and that's another. Basically, this interesting pop culture Funko. Okay, for some reason I did get that right. I forgot about Funko. Funko, this is not a good chart, folks. I'm sorry to tell you this. If between these two you want NIO and not Funko, Funko just doesn't have a good chart. This is a downward trending line. It's got a 24 relative strength. I think you want to stay away from Funko. Funko doesn't appear to be very fun. Yeah, only 3 out of 9 on the buying criteria. I just don't think you want Funko. So if I had to choose, I would choose NIO and not Funko. Funko, Funko is a no, and NIO is a yes. So that's how I would look at Jim. I earned 32 percent from IBD. From IBD, bought a Kindle and planning to buy books. Thanks, man. Thank you for looking at that. I'm telling you, this is one of the great books of all time. It's how I learned how to trade. And just so that you could find out where to get it, super easy. If you do buy it, consider buying it off of my website, because it's right here. You just go over here to my website. This is how it looks. You go over here to the Learn to Trade bookshelf. Just click on that. Oops, there we go. And it's How to Make Money in Stocks, a Winning System, Good Times or Bad, by William O'Neill. And this is the companion volume, How to Make Money in Stocks and Getting Started. This is more like a checklist, but I think if you're interested in the CanSlim way of investing, and most of the top investors in the world use this, these are the two that you want to kind of look at. So super easy to get it. Just go over to my website, www.dallastradingfloor. And thank you for that vote of confidence. All right. I will go back to Tesla, but I've talked about it a little bit. Kodak and Workhorse. Interesting. I can remember when Kodak was a truly great company. It was, back in the day. I don't think it is anymore. It went bankrupt and it got thrown off of the it got thrown off the Dow Jones. Kind of one of these fallen angels. I don't know if it's ever going to get back, because I just don't see it being like it was before. Now that said, it for a penny stock, it's pretty good. It's $8.92, and it is basically a relative strength of 99. Now there has been some talk with Kodak of them making a lot of the generic drugs and the vaccines, and they definitely could. They have the capability. They have the industrial plant to do that. So. Is this a viable stock? This is a really good question. It's got a terrible checklist. It's only 4 out of 9. It does have some fund ownership, but it's decreasing. I wish I could. I so wish that I could recommend Kodak as a stock, but I just can't based on this chart. Unfortunately, I mean, that's painful for me because I used to love Kodak. I used to develop my own pictures, and boy, it was great. But no, I cannot recommend Kodak, unfortunately. Workhorse, HKS. That's Workhorse. Yep. WKHS, I think. Yeah, there we go. WKHS for Workhorse. Let's see if, yeah, there we go. Workhorse Group. It's pulled below the 21-day, the 50-day exponential, but it does have a buy point, and the buy point is on a first stage pivot, 22.90. So that's pretty good. It's funny. I was very skeptical about this one at first. I'm warming up to this stock a lot. It's got a relative strength of 99. Let's look at the fund ownership to see if we're doing good. Yeah, we don't really have enough fund ownership, but it is increasing, which is good. We have 6 out of 9, so that's my minimum for doing that. So that's looking pretty good. Let's see if there's any options. No options on it. Any news on it? Really nothing. Electric car boom speeds up. Okay, well, I don't think I would take a full position in this one, but I think with the relative strength of 99 in the area that they're in, I think that it's definitely worthy of a look-see. If there's been a lot of selling, though, this kind of distresses me a little bit. We've had a lot of sell. We've had this Easter egg, and it's a selling since the pivot. So I don't like that. I don't like this. So I still can't get totally behind Workhorse here. So unfortunately, both Kodak and Workhorse, I really can't see it. So I can't see it, unfortunately. Tesla and Apple, we've covered both Tesla and Apple, but we'll go back to that. Okay. Tesla is down for a fourth consecutive day. I agree with you. I do think it seems to be week into earnings. So we shall see. I hope that if they do meet their delivery numbers, I think we're going to see it pretty good. So that's my opinion on it. We need Tesla to be under 450 on Friday. Then it can be 800. Absolutely. Sold some calls. That's not a bad idea. I mean, I definitely I'm selling calls as well. I've sold 500s and I've sold 450s. So that's a very good call. I definitely think that it will possibly move up from here, but I think that it's been down and so we'll see what happens. I'm definitely on board with you there as well. So great thoughts on I don't know what this one STAA. Let's look at STAA. I think I can STAA. Let's see if I can get Star Surgical. So let's see about Star Surgical. See if I can give you anything there, Jorge. Very nice. It's moved off of this consolidation base, 62.51, 93 relative strength. That's great. Let's look at the checklist on this. Very good. 6 out of 9. Nice ownership by funds. Wow, this is a good one. This is a good one, folks. Very, very good. I like this. Lake Forest. It's down in Southern California. Know it well. And is pulled up nicely. Yeah, this is definitely a good stock. There's no question about it. Thank you very much. That's a good call. I'm going to put STAA. I haven't been following that one, but I'm definitely going to do that from now from now on. So let's look at Boots, BOTZ. So let's see. We get Boots, BOTZ. BOTZ. Yep. Global X rope. What is this? ETF. Did I get that right? Maybe I did. BOTZ. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So here we go. Let's see if we can take a gander at this one. 85 relative strength, 29. Just can't really say anything about this one on this ETF. It's got a decent checklist. I have to punt on that one. I'm afraid I can't really give you anything. Okay, SPACs. Here's the problem with SPACs. I know that everybody loves them. I just don't know how to properly evaluate them because I don't know exactly what they're investing in. That's my biggest problem with SPACs. Not that they're bad, but I just can't do this. Okay, any thoughts on it on an app's 45 call? Let's take a look on apps to see. And I guess you bought the 45 call. Let's take a look at some of the option action on apps to see if I can give you a good look at. See, 25 strike last that's a put. 25.14, so it's about okay. So this one is a 45 11.24 45 calls. So okay. Question is what you sold it for. I don't know. There's not a lot of time on this one. If you're up on this call, I would sell it if you've bought it. You could be disappointed on this one, but it does look like it's still moving up. So I can't really give you a good thoughts on SPACs. The problem with SPACs. The problem with SPACs is that I just don't have enough information on them because I don't know what they're investing in. That's the big problem with SPACs. It's a blind pool. SPACs. Okay. Is AMAT in a cup? Let's take a look at Applied Materials. AMAT. Let's take a look at Applied Materials to see if there's any kind of action on that. Okay, yes, we do. We have a cup. We definitely have a cup with handle. That's a very good call there, by the way. That is a very good call. Yes, it is. But it is what they call a consolidation base. It's the second stage base with a buy point of 69.90. 62. So is this buyable? Yeah, it seems like it's getting ready to move higher. Absolutely, based on this chart pattern. So Applied Materials is quite a good stock. 77 checklist, and the ownership on it is 50% funds. So, and it's in quite a good sector as well. Not actually, it's a better sector. I apologize on that sector. This is one of the semiconductor equipment companies like KLA-Tencor. And they tend to be, when there's an upgrade cycle for semiconductors, these are the ones to buy. So, it seems to be setting up quite nicely for a move higher. So that's a good thing. Documentum. Okay, so for TikTok, Big C. Of course, Big C is one of the discount retailers, and they probably will. They probably will benefit more from from some of the things. Okay, Big Commerce based in Austin, Texas. I didn't know this. Interesting. That's right around the corner from me. What do you know? Just came out of the chute. Earnings are in 10 days. Interesting. Relative strength of 86. Interesting. I guess this one just came out. Yeah, it's 6 out of 9. That's not bad. Ownership is about 6% funds. Let's look at the industry. Not bad, 15%. 15, that's pretty good. This is interesting. This is definitely a watch list. Thank you very much for this. Wow. So this is a Big C, Big Commerce. So Big C. All right. That's just interesting. Big C. You learn something new every day. Definitely didn't know about that one. So there you go. Okay. So let's see. Thoughts on 21 Vivian. I don't know what that is. Please advise on CAR. CAR. C-A-R. Let's see if we've got anything there on CAR. Davis. Ooh, no, this is not a good one. I am so sorry to inform you of this, but I just think these car companies are not the place to be. I know it is pulling up towards a buy point at 36.96, but Hertz is bankrupt. This is a very troubled sector. Earnings are in one day. If you've got a profit in this thing, it's up $4. Sell it. Sell this thing into earnings. Sell this thing into earnings, and then possibly buy it back. But yeah, sell this into earnings, and I think that might be the way to go. It looks as if we have a relatively good check. Well, not really, sort of a marginal checklist. The ownership on it, 75% funds. Here's what I do. If I was up on this one, if you're owner on this one, I think it's time to sell it. Sell it now, and you're going to be happy, because I do think this is going to pull back after earnings, and that's basically in one day. So, and then if it performs well and starts moving back up, then I think you could possibly come back in. But right now, I would sell this especially if you have profit on it. So, very good thing. Bought NFE at 44, sold at 56. Thank you. Okay, nice. Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you for putting that up there. Yeah, NFE, not bad, not bad. Let's look at that chart. Let's NFE, New Fortress. Okay, definitely nice. Yeah, look at that, 99 relative strength. I think you did very well there, Dinesh. Very nice. And you sold 9 days into earnings. That's the right way to do it. That is the right way to do it. You sold into the strength. That is a hard thing to learn, but boy, that is the right way to do it. Thank you very much for that comment, Dinesh. Appreciate that very, very much. Okay, so thoughts on Hall. Let's look at Hall. Again, a lot of times, one of the best ways, everybody, to make money is to get a stock that is really moving strongly into earnings. It got a good chart, hold it right into there, and then just sell it. And that sometimes is a very good way to play. Here you go. This is Hallmark Financial. Boy, I wouldn't buy this thing. This is radioactive. Bad. It's got a relative strength of 3. That's pretty terrible. I'm looking at a checklist of, this is terrible. This is just awful. If you have this thing, sell it immediately. Sell this immediately and don't buy it. This is radioactive. I'm sorry to tell you this. Not a thing you want to be in. Not a thing you want to be in, unfortunately. Not a very good thing, unfortunately. Just not where you want to be. Space. Okay, SPAC. Okay. VNet. Let's look at VNet real quick, and then we're going to come back. VNET. All right. Okay. VNet. And there we go. 21. Chinese provider of carrier neutral internet data centers. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good chart, by the way. Interesting. Okay, well, there we go. Let's look at that some more. Let's look at VNet some more. It's looking like it's a strong pattern here. 94 relative strength. I like that. Let's look at this checklist. It's acceptable test 6 out of 9. Let's look at the ownership. Ownership is good, and it's increasing. Wow, this is definitely at least a watch list. We had some very strong action on this. It looks as if this one might be a buy. I wouldn't buy it now. I'd watch this one, but this is looking very good. VNET. Very good. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm going to put this one down to take a look further. VNET, and that's Chinese company. All right, so let's look AT&T. Okay, here is a company that I think you should avoid. It's T, known as Telephone. It's based here in Dallas, and it is a terrible stock, and I don't want anyone to buy it because they are having a lot of troubles. You can see it's a downward sloping trend. It's got a relative strength of 13, and its checklist is horrible. So you want to avoid T at all costs. If you have to be in the telecom space, the one to be in is Verizon. VRZN. You want to be in Verizon and not in AT&T. It just unfortunately is not a stock that it used to be. So avoid that like the plague. Avoid Telephone. Is Upwork good at and above 20, like 2070? What is the fair price to buy? Please recommend. Okay, well, let's look at Upwork. See if I can. I think it's UPWK. Is that right? Is that Upwork? Yeah, Upwork. There we go. Good. I know. I remember the sign. You know what? This is pulled above the buy zone. There was a buy zone at 1759. It's got a relative strength of 95. This isn't bad. Where could you buy this? Well, you could buy this off the 50-day moving average. I mean, off the 21-day at 2044. It's at 2061. This is actually looks like it's somewhat buyable. Actually, believe it or not. Let's look at the checklist. 6 out of 9. That's my minimum. And a 56% phone. You know what? I think that if you were trying to buy this at let's see, and you indicated you were trying to buy at 2070. I think this is buyable. I definitely do. I think this one is buyable. I think Upwork is buyable at 2070 based on this chart. I think it's buyable. Just if you do this, make sure you put in that stop loss because it may pull back, but it looks like it's crawling right up the 21-day exponential, and it's got a 95 relative strength. So I have to say that's a good call. Upwork 2070. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm going to put that along with my other ones just to check it out a little bit more. UP WK Upwork. That's looking actually quite good. So I'm surprised that I would actually recommend that, but I am. That's the chart's looking good. So that's how it works. The charts rule. Let's see. What do you think of Sony? You know, I haven't probably done Sony in a long time. Let's SONY. I don't know if that's the symbol for them. Let's see if it is. SONY. I think that's the symbol. Let's see. Maybe not. Let's see if I can find Sony on here. And let's see if it's not letting me do it. So I cannot give you any more information on Sony, unfortunately. Okay, VXRT. This is on the list of relative strength. VRXT. This is a good stock, by the way, everyone. Thank you for this very, very much. Let's see if I can bring this up on the list of very high relative strength stocks. So let me pull this up here and let's view it. This stock, and just so that everyone can see on my list here, is VRXT. It's basically, is it on there? Yes, VRXT is number 2 on the list. This is a very, very, very strong stock. VRXT. Its current price is $5.39. It's got a 99 relative strength. VXRT. I think that this is one that is definitely in the running for that. So let's look at VXRT. VXRT, and this is a relatively low price stock too, which is amazing. And let's look at the chart on VXRT. And by the way, if you're looking on TikTok, super easy. All you have to do to see these charts is go over to YouTube. YouTube is www.youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor, and you will see exactly what I'm showing in terms of the chart on this one. 99 relative strength. Wow, that is incredible. It's $5.34. It's pulled back 74 cents. This is extremely volatile, this stock. I'm just trying to see what is happening here. We've had some selling. I think there may be some short selling. Yeah, there's a lot of short interest on this one. There's a potential for this one to blow up, but yeah, this is interesting. This is a real interesting stock. We have a lot of people are shorting this stock right now. The question is why? And let's look at the checklist. It's 6 out of 9. Ownership is 99% funds. There's almost no retail investors in this. This is fascinating. Okay, so looks as if the fix is in on this one. Interesting thing. I just don't know about this one. But it's very, very high relative strength. This is a very high relative strength. And by the way, buying very high relative strength stocks is a great idea. It really, really is. Well, I have come to the end of an hour, and I really appreciate everybody tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow is important because it is going to be earnings for Tesla tomorrow. So I hopefully will have something for you. Now, if everyone needs to get onto the trade alerts, very, very easy. All you have to do is go over to www Dallas Trading Floor. And also, if you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe to me on YouTube. I'm here every day at 2:30. Hope to see you soon, and I will be back 2:30. Happy trading and stay safe.